Salut à toutes et à tous et bienvenue dans Story Séries.
Cavalry's back. 3 years of peace, and we convinced ourselves that they were gone. They were just hibernating.
Cette semaine, on fait appel aux militants ou à la militante qui sommeille en nous avec un retour sur les séries les plus politiques de l'année. David Simon, le grand observateur des États-Unis, nous parlera de The Plot Against America, son adaptation de l'Uchronie de Philip Roth. Et pour le créateur de The Wire, chaque série est l'occasion de regarder le monde actuel en face.
There's a lot of hate out there, and he knows how to tap into it.
Admittedly, Mr. Lindbergh made the statements grounded in anti-Semitic cliché, but he did so out of ignorance.
This is how it starts.
C'est ce que nous confirmera Michael K. Williams, l'acteur culte qui incarnait Omar dans The Wire et a rejoint le cast de Lovecraft Country, une revisite du roman de Matt Ruff produite par Jordan Peele et J.J. Abrams.
Nothing wrong with loving that much.
We need to shut up and rest.
That's the problem. I've been shutting up for far too long and hurt those I love.
Mais avant cela, nous avons rendez-vous avec l'immense Damon Lindelof qui s'est réapproprié le Watchmen de Alan Moore pour en faire un brûlot anti-Trump.
Lori Blake, FBI. You know how you can tell the difference between a masked cop and a vigilante?
No.
Me neither.
My father handed me the first 2 issues in 1986, and I was 13 years old, and he said, "You're not ready for this." And then they walked out of the room, and that was the beginning of a great love affair. And so I read all 12 issues back when they came out, and have reread them over and over again for all the intervening years. And now I kind of get to live the dream of trying to put a new spin on the story that I love so much.
This is a stick-up!
Who are you?
Who am I? If I knew the answer to that, I wouldn't be wearing a mask.
What do we call a hero? Do we trust the institutions that are meant to protect us? Do we trust the police? Who watches the police? How do we feel about vigilantes? These are all sort of some of the ideas sort of spinning around.
Pretty soon you couldn't tell the good guys from the bad guys because they were all hiding their faces. Sir, I'm with the FBI. Are your civil rights being violated?
Yes, ma'am. They didn't read me my rights.
Okay, sorry. I was just kidding. I don't care.
The mask gives you power to do the things that you would do if no one were able to watch, you know, if no one could track you down, you know, and so there's a lot of possibility of danger and a lot of dark elements that could be birthed out of that possibility of anonymity.
Are you a member of or do you associate with members of the white supremacist organization known as the 7th Cavalry? Are you a member of or do you associate with members of the white supremacist organization known as the 7th Cavalry? Are you a member of or do you associate with members of the white supremacist group known as the 7th Cavalry? No. No.
There's a character in Watchmen called Dr. Manhattan who is up on Mars, and people are trying to communicate with him and ask him why he's abandoned them. This is a God metaphor, one that I've been very interested in my past work.
Hey, what are you two talking about that's taking so long?
Oh, nothing. Just the end of the world.
I think that I'm always going to be driven to tell the same kind of stories where people are struggling to figure out what the rules are. And what they're supposed to do in life, and I'm culturally very interested in the idea of cults and people who think that the end of the world is coming.
Oh shit!
Nothing ever ends. It's only just begun.
But the blacks are bad enough. They're smart. I mean, they're not smart. They're beasts. But they're clever enough to cause mischief. And they're persistent. Always sticking their noses where they don't belong.
Can you tell me a little bit about your reaction to reading the script when you received it?
Oh, wow. When I first read Lovecraft Country, because the only thing I got to read off top was the pilot. And my real response was, no way. No way are they going to make this story, you know? And for many reasons. One is there's actual monsters in this thing. And then secondarily, and I think chiefly, was the fact that they, in the script, made the hero family an African-American family, which is something that we have not seen. And then furthermore, you make the hero, or you're looking at the film from the point of view of a young black man, you know, and this young black man isn't a drug dealer, isn't, you know, he's none of the stereotypical things that seem to be palatable. So that just blew my mind.
But I love Pope stories. I love that the heroes get to go on adventures in other worlds, to fight insurmountable odds, defeat the monster, save the day. Little Negro boys from the South Side of Chicago are the only tourists that get to do that.
So do you feel any responsibility being this actor doing this role and knowing that, you know, people are watching and you might be changing something in television right now?
Wow, I mean, yeah, there's always a responsibility when you get up there. You know, when you hit that and you know it's going to be put into people's houses. You know, this was not just a responsibility. It didn't just have that factor that all projects I've been part of have. There's a bit of honor. I felt honored to just in this time, just in these, you know, these next few months, you know, to be the visual, to be the tangible proof of authenticity, in a way, you know, and to give a certain amount of courage and to hopefully embolden, you know, not just young black men, but black people, not just black people, but Americans.
Didn't you say it was called Lydia's?
It's in the right place. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Book can't refuse your service.
Or spit in your water glass.
Good afternoon. We were just driving by, thought we'd stop in and have some lunch.
You know, I've always had the feeling that through your career, you've had like a kind of a mission of exploring America's traumas. Lovecraft Country is one of them, but The Wire, The Night of, When They See Us. Do you feel like you have kind of a mission through your job as an actor to tell those traumas and to educate?
Wow, thank you for that question, and to even acknowledge that, first of all. Thank you. And yes is yes for me. I realized early on in my career that I did not have to be here. This is an opportunity given to me, and with opportunity comes responsibility. Yeah. At least I believe, and I've always quoted someone who I respect a lot, Nina Simone, and she once said that it is an artist's duty to reflect the times in which they find themselves. And I couldn't think of a better way to use my instrument and my platform. I don't get the opportunity to pass for anything else. I'm a black man in America. You know what I mean? So I take it as a great badge of honor to have the opportunity to tell stories from people that look like me from our perspective.
Blackbird, you ain't ever gonna fly.
Hey, Montrose.
What the hell are y'all doing here? We're here to save you. I'll save my damn self. I ain't need y'all coming for me.
All of the actors talked about a feeling of putting together a kind of a family on the set. And so I was wondering what kind of conversation did this show bring between you, all of you? What kind of ties did you create?
This show, I believe, probably is one of the deepest I've ever been at a job because of all the topics and the amount of darkness that we go into. Lovecraft woke up all of our trauma, things that we cannot get away from, things that's in our DNA that we don't think about on a daily basis, but we navigate from that point. It's in us, the trauma from slavery is in us. The trauma from Jim Crow, that's in us. That's in our DNA. It's in the fiber of our being. Do we think about it every day? No, but it's there.
Don't mind the others. Just because they don't want you here doesn't mean you're not supposed to be.
What if Lindbergh does win?
Everyone sees what he is.
He's a hero. To most people, there's never been a bigger hero in their lifetime.
The Roth novel aggressively addresses itself to our current political paradigm, which is that of a demagogue using the othering of immigrant groups and people who can be maligned as being somehow less than American or less capable of assimilating as Americans, and using those people for political power.
There's a lot of hate out there, and he knows how to tap into it.
Admittedly, Mr. Lindbergh made the statements grounded in anti-Semitic cliche, but he did so out of ignorance.
This is how it starts.
Roth's story was ostensibly about Jewish Americans in 1940. They were the vulnerable cohort then. Right now, it speaks to a variety of people: Black, brown, Latin, African, Muslim. Those are the new Americans who are being challenged.
The Jewish people and Roosevelt are pushing the United States into this new war.
He's calling us war agitators. Listen to that crowd.
If every day you don't kill a few snakes, if every day you don't fight for your republic, it will happen. And this is our moment, right now.
It's so relevant that people think that it was just written like a year ago, when it was actually written in 2004. Even friends of mine who aren't familiar with Philip Roth, who's my favorite writer, think that this was just written because of today's climate and politics and everything, but it's actually incredibly, vividly relevant to what's happening today.
We have to get out.
They've closed the borders.
This is my country.
Not anymore. It is the Jew haters. It is the America firsters. It's their country.
Growing up, when you watch The Wire, you watch all of these iconic things, to be a part of it, when I first saw that script that said David Simon and Ed Burns, to be a part of that was just an incredible experience, man. Unbelievable.
When I got the audition for The Deuce, it was a very small part in the series, but I really put my all into it, to the audition, because I wanted so badly to be in the pool of actors that David Simon works with. And I got very lucky there. And that was a real joy.
I worked with him before on Show Me a Hero. I'm a huge fan. I think Homicide and The Wire were probably the most important things that have ever happened on television. I wrote him fan letters before I got to meet him and work with him on Show Me a Hero, but I'm thrilled to be working with him again, and I hope to continue.
Story Séries, c'est terminé. La semaine prochaine, on retrouve les acteurs qui nous ont le plus touchés cette année.
It's been some time.
Josh Radnor, Lin-Manuel Miranda et Joe Cole.
We are making enemies out of business partners. We've got to find a peaceful solution to this. I'm not interested in peace.
Allez, à la semaine prochaine.